Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in this one, we're going to have a live discussion about the best dividend ETFs with stable NAV. So I'm going to pretend I'm a novice at this and try to have this on Discord, and we will see who joins and what they have to say. So to start out with, as far as what we consider like stable NAV dividend ETFs, I know that like NEOS is very stable, the NEOS funds. I know like SPYI and so on and so forth, QQQI. Those are pretty good. Curve funds. We just had Howard on like a week ago. Most of the curve funds are actually not only maintaining their NAV, but some of them are higher. I think TSLP is slightly lower, but they're paying like a stable 20 to 25% dividend yield. So that's what we want to find. We want the perfect balance between NAV stabilization and dividend yields. We're not necessarily looking for outrageously high dividend yields. We want, not, like I said, not super high dividend yields, but we're happy to balance yield with NAV stabilization. So let me say this here. All right, so I'm going to try to get some people on in Discord here. I think Discord will pick up the sound. Let me share that screen. So I think as long as I share that screen, it should pick up the sound here. All right, so no black screen. So here we go. So I've announced it to Discord. Now, what's great also, ChatGPT and Google AI and all that have become really good resources about, researching funds and investing. So usually with Google AI, you can do a quick, it's funny, SCHD comes up as one of the top ones here. But I'm kind of crowdsourcing tonight. So let's see who joined here. Oh, H-Town, welcome.
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. And I think the audience can hear you too. So you have a pretty good portfolio when it comes to like stable dividend payouts.
We try.
Yeah, right.
Stable is a subjective term, I guess, with this market, the way it's been just
all
over the place.
The market's one thing, but a lot of the audience, like we're saying, is looking for stable yield, not the super high yield like of the yield maxes of the world, but as high of a yield as we can get with stable NAV. So if I'm not mistaken, I think you shared those funds in Discord, didn't you?
I have, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can share it again as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because the Discord started to be really active lately, so we'd have to scroll up really far to see it.
Let me.
But off the top of your head, like, what are your favorite stable dividend ETFs?
Send it right now in the general. So I guess within the last month or so, I've made the decision to sell a lot of my yield max.
Right.
We got out of Coney. I was out of Ulti a long time ago, but in a couple others, I think we got out of SMCY.
Well, if you sell yield max, if we sell yield max, that means we're not true high yield dividend warriors.
I still hold some. I hold what I consider like the core.
I see that you've got
yield max,
NVDY and AMZ.
Yeah, NVDY, AMZ, Phoebe, Nefli, Misty, and Misty's just, I don't know. It's not Misty. It's MSTR is the issue, but
right.
The underlying consider those like this, the more like the goat, the old yield max funds that just you can trust.
Right. And this red stuff, this red stuff we don't care about because we just care about dividends. Pretty much.
This red stuff.
Oh, I mean like the gain and loss, the unrealized gain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, I guess.
Right.
So I sold, I think I sold YBit. I sold YBit for Round Hill's version, YBTC.
So you think that
YBit was down to like what, $12 or $11, $10, something like that.
Yeah.
Just comparing them, YBTC outperforms YBit in the last year astronomically, right? So we sold out of YBit for that one. We sold out of a couple others. We got into Hui, or HOOW. I guess it's called Who. I don't know how we say it. PLTW, the WPay one. We bought that one. I think that's a great fund because it also holds the Mag 7 along with the best or the Round Hill weekly payers, which I think is pretty nice to have. Because I don't own Tesla, for instance.
You
solo.
don't own Tesla. That's a shocker.
I don't. I did a couple of years ago, and I just said we can't hold this anymore. We got rid of it.
Oh, so when did you sell?
Tesla, I probably sold like the end of 24, maybe August, September, probably a year ago.
So around like the last.
I kind of have a rule, like once it gets to about $10, that's when I'm like, all right,
that's smart. So Tesla had a big run up at the end of last year because the underlying shot up. This time around, we haven't seen Tesla shoot up. The underlying has shot up again, but we haven't seen Tesla shoot up. But actually, in hindsight, that was the best time to sell within the last like 18 months or so.
Yeah, and if you look at MSTR, maybe it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, MSTR went from like 300 to 350, right? MSTY didn't follow. You can say it got capped. You can say it, they didn't do the strike right, whatever the case is. It seems just like that Round Hill seems to get more of the upside. And I know some of that probably has to do with 1.2 leverage. And they're doing spreads and they're doing some unique things. But Round Hill, in my opinion, right now, is just getting more upside.
Yeah.
Of course, you get more downside when you're 1.2 leverage too, right? So.
Oh, of course. Which Round Hill product is that? That's the leveraged one?
I believe most of them are HOOW,
yeah.
PLCW, WPay. I mean, they.
Now, I just pulled that up on Seeking Alpha because you were talking about how it's like by far outperforming YBIT. Yeah, and is that with reinvested dividends or is that just in price? Right. Yeah. Over what time horizon were you looking at? I do see. I do see since June, there's been like as of like mid-September, YBTC was crushing it. It was like a 13% difference. Yeah. Right. Just price. Oh, total. I've got over a year, 42% for YBTC, 40% for YBIT. Mhm. Mhm. Exactly. Very true. So do you have the screen of like what your dividend yields are? Okay. Because if you're on Schwab, there's a page called there's like an income screen and you can see it.
I'm going to share it in the chat or.
Yeah, sure. Because honestly, I've gotten away from, buying dividends. I've been just doing all wheel strategy. So the dividends I'm making are on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the voice chat, Chris.
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, hear you fine. Welcome. So I think I figured out on YouTube. It's got to be in the Discord to hear you guys. So I'll just try to stay on the Discord window. 21st century technology and all.
There you go.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up to the commenters that pointed that out. All right. But yeah, this year I still made like 35,000 just in dividend income from the ones that I hold. Like Tesla is still one of the biggest ones. I guess I'll just hold it until it goes to zero. And
so, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with Misty at this point. Like, I don't know if I should just cut it out or just hold it and then take the 300 or whatever's going to pay me a month, use it to buy other funds or use it to cost basis down.
Won't it just reverse split, not go to zero?
Well, they quit doing that. I think they've only done one. They did the reverse split on Tesla, and it's never recovered. And the funny thing is, the cost basis that it shows, it's like there's money that's just missing. Because I think I put like the certain amount that I put originally, it's only like 3/4 of that after the reverse split.
Yeah.
So, like with what is it, MR?
I mean,
they don't want to reverse split it. It's like $2.
MRNY.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of flack, I guess, for reverse splitting it. At this point,
right?
I don't know why you don't. Mm-hmm. At least if it's down below $5, I mean, you might as well. And if people get mad, then they don't know basic math.
Well,
get it. You're losing half your shares, but your price went up, so it's accounting wise, it's the same thing.
Well, the basic math thing is interesting because if people think they can get 90% dividends and have a fund going up, that's the basic math skills are questionable to begin with, I guess.
100%.
Yeah.
I shared the dividend chart.
Yeah, I have it up
in the chat.
So that's pretty good. So on what, 37,000 or so? Yeah, that's pretty good as far as a dividend yield.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad.
Repeat, do not pay your bill yet. So I found this website.
This the
difference. $271 a month.
I'm all for that. She said it very firm. So I'm listening.
Yeah. So, one thing it wasn't okay. Let me back up. Yeah. It was never part of the plan to get dividends every day, right? It wasn't like, let me go buy a bunch of funds. They get me paid every day.
Actually, that's what was neat that you shared. You have dividends every day of the week, basically.
Every day of the week. And I think I saw a video by Spencer Invests.
Yeah.
That showed like, these funds pay Monday, these funds pay Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had sold some of my YieldMax, I bought YBTC, and that pays Thursdays. And then I bought HUI or HOW and PLTW, which pays Tuesdays.
Yeah. So,
I'm at 3 days a week already.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard a lot about blocks, and I love blocks. I think I bought it at like $23, $22. Now it's at like $26. And I believe that one pays Monday.
Blocks.
So now we're 4 days a week, and I was like, well, let's just see if we can make Wednesday. And then it would WPay, and I was like, well, that one's really easy, right? Like I sold all my YMAX for WPay, and now we're at 5 days a week. If you consider Fridays are going to be YieldMax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of cool because every day we're making something. It just goes to cash, and we'll have to do with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you put some into a different account on the side for taxes, or what do you do for that?
For the taxes, I just file the taxes and I pay it, to be honest.
Yeah, but are you reinvesting the dividends or using the dividends to live on? What do you?
No, I'm
what
not
do you do with
using
the
the
dividend?
dividends to live on. So I reinvest a majority of the dividends. I'd say about 50%, maybe a bit more. Some of it goes to cash, and I wait for a little bit of a downturn, and then I'll buy more of the funds. Right. We're also doing the options.
So then when April hits, where's all the?
That just comes
Do you
out of
have
my,
like?
yeah. I just have other money sitting aside for taxes, which
Oh.
I'm 1099 as a realtor, right? So I don't pay taxes throughout the year. So every April, I already know I'm going to have a tax problem, and so we just have money set aside from all our income for the year to pay taxes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so you are setting some aside every
Yes,
month.
yes, correct.
Okay.
You don't have to do like the quarterly taxes.
Have to know.
Okay.
Should I? Yes.
Same
I
here.
think there's like a penalty that I get charged because I don't.
Well,
But again, why would I?
not to give tax advice. I know not everybody on here, knows about taxes. But
don't listen to me about tax advice.
Right. Well, it's what some of the dividend investors actually say they don't care about tax, which is interesting because it's important. But
correct.
They're basically the IRS. If you owe more than like $1,000, they penalize you for failure to properly withhold, which is annoying,
Yeah, they do. And I think I saw last year. I don't know what the penalty was. I think it was less than $100. So I was like, whatever, I'll pay the penalty rather than giving you.
Yeah, like for me, it's
money every 3 months.
It's going to be a fun tax year this year.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah. Luckily, most of the stuff is in IRAs, but there's one of the big chunks is in a brokerage account. So yeah, that's going to be a fun tax filing. Luckily, with the dividends, at least, they're return of capital for the most part. So we kind of get a break on the dividends.
Correct. And I didn't see that last year when I filed in the Schwab statements, and I just electronically.
So I had to wait because they didn't produce those reports, I think, till March or so.
Maybe I just missed it, and it wasn't enough money to probably make a difference anyway for me.
Oh yeah.
But maybe this year I'll see that return of capital, and it won't be such a problem with the tax hit.
Right. So Chuck here in the comments had a good idea. Use the dividends from these products to, buy more stable dividend funds. It's like a dividend wheel in effect.
Yes, definitely. And seeing how some of us are doing the wheel strategy, all that, premium from doing puts and calls goes to the cash. And I kind of say I feed each other, right? Like the premium goes to the dividend funds, and the dividend funds help me set aside cash to do more options.
Yeah.
So basically, that money just goes back and forth. To be honest, I mean, some of the stuff gets reinvested. I choose when and where to reinvest it, and then some of it goes to cash, and I do options, and then I make more premium, and it goes to cash, and I buy more dividend funds with it. Right, wrong, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's how we're handling it at the moment.
No, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever works for the investors, I think.
Correct. I think this year maybe I've made $8,000 in premium.
In option.
We started in option premium. And I think a year ago I started making like $20 a contract. You know what I mean? We were just $35 a month was my first month in options. I thought I was killing it.
Well, nice. Well, you see the profit.
So now we're doing, $800, $1,000 a month, and
awesome,
just growing it.
Yeah, so you're outpacing dividends pretty soon.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Well, you see how it kind of snowballs as you get more money. That kind of snowballs because I've been at this probably for 4 years. This year's been the best year, but it took that long, to get to this point.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, here's the calendar. Yeah, I like this here, how you did the calendar here. You've got the daily payers, basically. So blocks so it's not every Monday, but it's like bi-monthly.
I think it was just because of Columbus Day.
Oh.
We got screwed up this week. It's supposed to be on Mondays, as you can see, like the week before and week after.
Oh, they took a holiday?
But I think Columbus Day. Oh, yeah, they didn't pay.
It's Tuesday.
And Tuesday payments didn't get paid till today, and I don't know, whatever.
Oh, I see. So normally, I see on a normal week here, it's blocks. It was a 419 dividend, and then it was 460 this week, and then HOOW. That's really good, 6760. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
That's the percentage. Well, that's incredible. Oh, is that one of those, like, you know how they have yield boost?
No, that's the Roundhill Robin Hood fund.
Oh, because the 160,
and they're paying $1, $2, $3 a week. I mean, it's insane.
So if you annualize that, it's a really high percentage.
Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, now the problem was
I
happened to jump into that on a random day, on a really red day at like $65. It shot up to $95, and I was like, I just can't buy more. $30 above my cost basis.
Yeah.
So I've just been putting all the dividends it paid in cash, waiting for a down day. Yesterday it went down to 70, and I was like, close enough, and I bought a few shares.
There you go.
But I mean, no, do not buy more funds at a higher cost basis, because you will never be able to lower it again.
Right.
I bought Misty all the way up to 40, and now it's, now I'm just stuck.
Never chase it up. I actually did that with Tesla once because I wanted to get over $2,000 a month just on one ETF, and so I chased it back in 2023 when it was like $18. I bought it, so you can figure out how that went.
Yeah, and I bought Misty all the way up, wrote it up to 40, and I kept buying it, reinvesting, and then I kept reinvesting all the way back down to now.
Did you ever own
my cost basis? I did own Ulti for maybe 8 months, 6 to 8 months, 9 months, something like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people,
a
lot of people now are saying that's like the greatest ETF ever.
You don't want my opinion on that. I'm not an Ulti fan. I'm just I bought it at 20, and I just, you sit there and you watch them pay 100% yield every month at the time. It was monthly back then, right? And they're paying more than they're making. They're paying more than they're bringing in.
Right.
The yield is, or the NAV is constantly going down. At some point, I was like, that's enough. And I got out at maybe about $10 or $11.
Okay.
And then they went weekly, and everyone's screaming, oh, it's great now. They fixed it. I'm like, no, they didn't.
Well,
the market's going up.
And like Jay joked about before, is like the biggest cure to like NAV erosion is for the underlying to go up, which they don't control.
Correct. I mean, if the market's in a bull market, then you would hope the NAV is stable, right?
And that's the biggest thing. Some of these that are down, it's like they're down in a record bull market.
Yes, exactly.
And I think what you said is, the fact that they overpay, that's a big thing. I think weekly helps because weekly, I have noticed more stability in the fund price since it's gone weekly.
Like MSTR, for example, right, is down 1% year to date, and Misty's down 53%.
Yep.
Total return or price return?
Not total return, just the NAV erosion aspect, right? And so they say like the biggest thing is for the underlying to be better, but 53% worse is pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I used to track it on a monthly basis as the NAV had recovered the dividend. And, it was always hit and miss. But when they didn't recover the dividend, and I could see that they didn't, and they still paid out a huge number, I'm like, well, that's just, at some point you can't do that anymore, right?
Yeah. I mean, whether or not your name is...
You look at Ulti is paying 8 cents a week, which is cool, but it used to pay $1 a month, right?
I know. Well, and that's what shocks me, when I do videos on Ulti, and I'm like, the history of the fund is important, but a lot of the followers are like, oh, how dare you criticize Ulti? I'm like, no, the history is relevant, So like you said, $1 a month, that's like... In a week, that would...
I see a ton of videos on Ulti. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their own portfolio. I'm just not a buyer of Ulti anymore.
Right.
Because you pick out the highest volatile stocks, and then you're shocked in a down market, you just went down to $5 in ulti. Well,
right.
That's what happens.
Well, and like you said, when it was $1 a month, that would be the equivalent of like 23 cents a week. So that's a big difference still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I think the way to where you can make it work is, if you really want to do this, is if it is just 10 or 15% of your portfolio, and you put it in a different account, and you look at it as like it's rental property or whatever, where you can lose some money.
Yeah.
But as long as you're getting that income, and then if you feel like we're going to have a downturn, let's say at the end of 2026, right, or whatever your thesis is, and then you can just you can move all that money and then park it into like STRC or STRK, and get that like 10%. Mm-hmm. And then when you feel like the bull market's going to come back, you can start putting money back into these funds. And even if you go down, let's say you had $1 million, you go down 900 or 800,000, you're still getting all that income and you're able to live off it. And you think of it as just, your house depreciates, you got to replace an AC. As long as it's only like 10 or 15% of your portfolio, you can use it. I just don't think it makes sense if you use it to just reinvest, mm-hmm. because, at that point you should just do growth or, do the whole wheel strategy that you're doing or different things. But if you use it as an income play, and, you can reinvest, let's say half of it and the other half you take for income to provide for your lifestyle, right, where you don't have to sell the other 80% of your portfolio, it makes a lot of sense then.
Right.
In my opinion, I think that's the way to make it work, but that's just my take on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I always talked about like my own portfolio allocation, the 10% bucket for speculative stuff. That's where yield max always was. I never did more than, 10% of the portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, it was 100% reinvesting.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe I did that for, I don't know, 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been doing it since like March of 24. So maybe 12 months. But after a while, I was like, I'm going to turn that off, because when I saw that I was reinvesting in Misty and my cost basis was 25 and I'm buying shares at 35, that didn't make any sense.
Right.
So I just turned them all off. And then I started kind of picking and choosing when I would buy it based on, the down days. But I do believe you have to reinvest something, or else it's just going to keep going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And I'll keep putting it in. It's just I'm gonna do it. Try to be smart about it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. The only ones that I feel that make a lot of sense where you can just not think about it anymore is, for me at least, I have the thesis that Bitcoin is the ultimate form of money, right? And it's going to go up and to the right over the next 30 years until it finds its place. And so BTCI makes a lot of sense. That's something that doesn't have NAV erosion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's nice to get 15, 20% as opposed to worrying about NAV. And I think it's going to be interesting to see over the next few years how these different companies, I've only been really looking into all this stuff for the last year or so, but
yeah,
I know it's only been around for probably 3 years, but it's going to be interesting to see who's able to come out as winners of keeping the NAV and, paying the 25, 30%, and who can actually come out with that product and people actually want to use it, because you get 4 billion assets under management with Misty because you're saying you're paying out 130% and it's going up per year, right? And so can you get $4 billion under management? Right? Can you get 4 billion under management saying you're going to give a 15% yield? I don't know.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, it's a lot easier to get that quick money under management with those higher yields, but it's good in the long run.
If I remember correctly, I think Misty hit 5 billion at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And when I just
it's still over 4 billion, which is.
Is it?
Which is
I thought
insane.
I saw it. Maybe it's gone from 5 to 4, but there is a lot of selling of Misty. I could just assume at this point.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm looking on their site to see the highest assets under management here. I know for a while I thought it was Tesla early on.
I think it's Misty.
Yeah,
it's Misty, and then I believe Alti.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Misty's still right at like $4 billion.
Yeah.
But
so let's see here. Let's look at some of the. So you've got. So we went over. So Tuesday you've got HOOW and then PLTW, and then Wednesday WPay.
Yeah,
it's another Roundhill one. By the way, if you all have noticed, the Roundhill CEO doesn't come on since like a year ago. He can't come on anymore because of compliance issues, I guess. So, kind of miss having him on. Speaking of not being able to come on, so also Jay doesn't really do interviews anymore. They have that guy Mike doing them.
No, yeah, I think he's taken a different role at the company.
Yeah, he's more focused. It's like they told him, all right, you focus more on trading or something.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. So, and some other breaking news. I don't know if you all have ever heard of James Fishback with Azoria Capital, but he had been on the works to come on the channel behind the scenes, and they just canceled on me again because I guess their funds got pulled from the market. Interesting. That's
Never heard.
Breaking news here. So Azoria, they had funds. It was like a convexity Tesla fund. It was let's see, ticker symbol TSLV. It was called the Azoria Tesla Convexity ETF. And then they had one called a 500 Meritocracy ETF, SPXM. There was a press release, or there was some notice put out. After considering all relevant information, including without limitation recent litigation involving a principal of the sub-advisor Azoria Capital. And they're linked with Tidal also, actually. That's interesting. Tidal has their hands in a lot of stuff. So they determined it's in the best interest of each fund and its shareholders to liquidate and terminate each fund. Wow. That's kind of a big deal.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Are you in any gold funds? Like GDXY or any type of gold?
I'm actually looking at the Curve fund and some of the others. I need to get into some gold. I know gold's hit an all-time high, and it's a good hedge against like currency stuff.
Yeah. Something I've been thinking about, but
thing is gold's at $27 trillion market cap. Like, I think it can go, double from there, but that's a massive market cap whenever you look at Bitcoin at $2 trillion.
Yeah.
And it's 10 times better in a lot of ways. It's portable, it's divisible. The unit of account has 21 million hard cap supply. No one knows the hard cap supply of gold. The thing that gold has going for it is all the central banks across the world keep accumulating it, and Bitcoin is still too small. But when you look at the risk adjusted returns, like it just, it doesn't make sense, especially after gold broke out after 10 years from being at 2K flat for a long time. So now over 4K. It still has room to run, but when you look at the alternative, right? If you're looking to buy a hard asset, it just makes more sense to park it in Bitcoin, in my opinion, right now.
Really? Well, I was listening to Will Rind on another channel, and he was talking about how gold, it's not so much that gold is going up versus other currencies are going down. So as currencies
for sure
in value, as debts rise all across the world, gold relatively goes up.
Yeah, it's like, what do they say? Like an ounce of gold buys you a suit for the last 100 years,
right?
Or whatever it is.
What I'm wondering,
so same thing. It's like same thing with your house, right? Like you're like, hey, my house just your neighbor's like, hey man, our houses are worth a lot now. You're like, no, the money is dying. The dollar is just worth less. It's not that your house is worth more,
right?
And people just don't understand that.
Yeah, and like I was having a conversation with a friend. I was like, how do you define rich? He's like, oh, over $1 million. I'm like, well, you do realize that $1 million today was equivalent to 500,000 5 years ago. I mean, the dollar's literally lost 50% of its value over the last 5 years. People don't realize that.
For sure. And then I remember when I got out of college, I'm not that old, but let's just say like 10 years ago, even not even that long ago, if you could make $100,000 a year, you're like, man, you really made it. Now that's like the $40,000 a year.
Oh, I know.
Is what the equivalent was even just a decade ago.
Well, I thought, because it took a good 5 or 6 years to recover from like 08 and 09. So even for me coming out of college, I thought even 60,000 right out of school was a good salary.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's nothing.
Yeah.
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 But here's an interesting thought. What if they like discover gold in space or something, like on another planet or something? Then what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason why Bitcoin is superior, the hard cap of 21 million.
Right.
And so, and the other thing is that as gold goes up in value, right, it incentivizes you to dig for it and mine it and find more gold, right? And so, so then there's more supply that comes on as gold gets more expensive, right? And so, I could go on for days on all that. But.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at the gold chart. I don't want to navigate away from Discord in case it doesn't pick up you guys on there. But since 2020 all the way to like when inflation really started kicking in, gold was flat for years. And then around early 2024, it started really going up.
There's a lot of good memes out there from back in like the 2020, 2021 days of Peter Schiff. I'm sure you know who Peter Schiff is. Big gold bug, right? And he was like, I forget what the meme is, but it's like him yelling as he's getting older, and gold is just at $2,000, right, an ounce, and Bitcoin just keeps going up and to the right, and like just going past gold. And it's a funny meme, but Peter's having a good year and a half as it's over doubled in value.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, wow, that's crazy over the last year and a half. But yeah, so let's see back here. So yeah, we've got, and then Thursday you have YBTC. Speaking of Bitcoin, and we just looked at the chart, that's far outperforming the yield max counterpart. What's interesting though,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what's interesting about it is that since the market's been dropping the last couple of days, those charts have narrowed, so they're a lot closer together now.
Yeah, it's maybe that has to do with the 1.2 leverage.
Exactly.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know which ones are leveraged. They may all be leveraged, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But there's just been last week it's just been brutal.
Right. You know what's funny?
But
I was going to tie this into the video, but on my wheel strategy, I had calls on TQQQ, and because the market tanked so much Friday, so my TQQQ was definitely going to get called away until Friday because I had it at like $96. All of a sudden, because the NASDAQ plummeted so much, those calls all of a sudden went out of the money. And so then I still have the shares. So all that premium it closed, it expired, and I kept all the premium. Still can't quite figure out how that worked though. Fidelity's awesome, but I like them even more because it showed that it closed at 97. So I'm actually shocked that, it was a $96 call. Somehow something must have happened there where it dipped temporarily and then it just expired, out of the money basically, which that's the goal, by the way, with calls and puts when you're selling. If you want it just for premium, you want them to expire out of the money.
Yeah.
I had
those AMDL selling the puts on AMDL a couple of weeks ago was really nice.
Those must be.
So I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Those must be printing right now.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you had a one-on-one session with me, so that was pretty valuable, huh?
Yeah, and I told you it's like the first one, so it's the trade has got to just automatically hit, right?
Oh, exactly. You
the first time
that.
always is the best. Yeah,
you did say that, yeah. But yeah, I like for some people, like the market drop, like with MSTU, trades and MSTU look really popular, really appealing, and then all of a sudden MSTU. Oh, trust me, it's hitting me too because I sold it.
I got assigned at 22 contracts at $5.
Yeah,
it's Lord
brutal.
I own so much of it. It almost looks like a Tesla in my portfolio.
Yeah, it's
But at some point,
so
we believe in MST.
I did it the week before, and last Monday it was like 7 cents to close. And I put in an order good to close at like 5 cents. I was like, I'll get out.
Yeah.
And then it just started going down and down and down. And by Friday, it was like $2 to close. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to sign this thing.
Yeah.
So don't ever be greedy. Take the 7 cents and get out, I guess, is the moral of the story there. So we got to sign 21 contracts, as you can see in the portfolio. I did a covered call this week, and I'm just going to have to do covered calls until it goes back up.
Oh, yeah.
MSTR has had a pretty brutal year. All these treasury companies have been pretty bad, but it's been rough.
Oh, I see. You put your this is a good spreadsheet. You've got your capital gains and then dollars and then distribution. So it's distribution versus gains. Nice.
I keep track of all my distributions. I kind of always want to know, am I total return positive or negative, right?
Do you use ChatGPT?
Do you manually do that, or are you able to like export, and are you able to like, I guess, streamline that a little bit easier?
I'm sure there's a way. I don't know where it was pulling the information from. So I manually do the main sheet, which is the holding sheet, and then it, calculates the formulas to the monthly sheets. At the end of the month, I just copy paste, the values, and I move on to the next sheet.
Yeah.
But like the holding sheet, I'll update the shares amount, the cost basis, etc. Basically, it's the same thing you can get with Snowball Analytics, I'm sure, which I've pasted on there. But I've gotten, it says $11,000 in Misty dividends on Snowball. So
yeah, I got Snowball like a couple months ago. I like it. I really just use it. I like the calendar where it shows you how much dividends you're expected to get for that month, right? And I think that's because eventually you can think about if you can make more than you make in your W-2 job, you're doing pretty good, kind of deal.
I mean, if you reinvest and you do this long term, I don't see why you wouldn't get to a crazy high number. I have some forecast sheets on my sheet, but who knows how accurate they're going to be in 10 years, right? Even if you're making crazy high $50,000 a month or something in dividends, why couldn't you live on 10,000 and reinvest the other 40, right? That's the goal.
Yeah.
Live on 10,000.
Or reinvest move on taxes to, reinvest taxes and then live off, 10, 12K.
Yeah.
Per month.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's more like it. So what were we saying? Oh, yeah. MSTU. So yeah, I sold at $8 on those. So that's just going to be a sign, that's fine. One day, I mean, we believe in MSTR. So one day it'll recover. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I remember getting assigned at $9 at one time and then riding it all the way down to $3.
Yeah.
Doing
it seems like it goes down to like $3 or $4 and then it goes back to $9, at its peak, and then it can go back down.
Calls all the way down and then cover calls all the way back up. And as soon as they hit like $9.50, I was like, I am so out of this thing. It took me 6 months to get out, but whatever. Don't do it unless you want to own a stock for 6 months, I guess.
Got to be bold. Like they say, fortune favors the bold. So today, because, I just transferred the Schwab stuff to Fidelity, they actually distinguish between the margin and the non-marginable stuff. So there was more like margin that I had. So I went further in on SMCX, that SMCX $70 trade, which I would say kids can try this at home. I'm doing it. I'm taking the brunt of the risk, but it may work. It may not. So far, like a week ago, it was looking really good because it hit 57. So I closed some of them for gains and then reopened it. But hopefully, if we can get another rate cut by the end of the year, and if we can get some other favorable news, hopefully the market ends up even higher than where we are today.
You may like this sheet. I'm gonna post it to see if you.
Yeah.
Now this is just an estimate, so I could be totally wrong,
and
I'm sure someone's gonna point out my faulty math.
It's actually
But you can
crazy
see
how
that
close
sheet.
people watch, because when I've done spreadsheets before, there's been viewers that have caught my error that I didn't even know. And they've looked, they're like, oh, you did this wrong. I'm like, wow, can I just send you more spreadsheets that I do since you're good at catching a bug?
Yeah, 100%.
But
so I kind of did like a test, like what would happen in 25, 26, 27.
Oh, like
if I was able to maintain a 60% yield throughout the fund average. I mean,
I used to do
the numbers
like this in my videos. Yeah, it looks crazy, right? If you just keep on maintaining, you get millions by the end of like year 10 or year 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's just, that's the goal, right? Like, that's why we do it.
For sure.
And I even try to keep in there a thought of, okay, we're going to lose capital. We're going to lose NAV. You know, year 15, I'm assuming I'm going to lose $900,000 in NAV. And I'm like, okay, that's going to, but again, we'll see how accurate this is as it portrays down the line.
That's awesome. Now, I could say for sure with options, I'd say those numbers are realistic. I don't know about dividends, though.
For sure. And some of like the like I have a column there for contributions, right? That could be through option premium. That could be through just adding money from your bank account to your W-2.
Right. But see, then again,
my goal is always to put in $10,000 a year.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, just 10.
But if you're doing options, like this year, I haven't really put in any money into the account from my own account. It's simply coming from the options premium.
Okay.
So the goal at some point, maybe by next year, I won't have to put any money in my own. I'll just be feeding my account through option premium.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so let's go through the other stuff real quick here. So you had, I like the calendar here because the calendar shows how somebody could feasibly get, a daily dividend income. Let me go through it.
And I try to pick funds people actually want. Right. There's so many funds out there. Like I'm not a Granite Shares Yield Boost. I just don't know enough about it to invest in it.
Well, Yield Boost I won't touch, but as far as Granite Shares, I love their leveraged ETFs. That's 90% of what I do. So I'm a huge fan. In fact, I even asked Will, I'm like, why aren't there an options chain for SMCL? Because SMCL is a lot cheaper than SMCX. So in my mind, I see a lot more contracts with SMCL. So he said, I think he said there would be one soon. And there's a couple other ones like NVDB by ProShares. I'm waiting on an options chain for that. That's like a third of the cost of NVDL. So, if we can get cheaper ones, then you're talking more contracts. One of the appeals of MSTU, it's so low. So you could put, if you have like 20 to play with, you get so many contracts with it.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's why I like MSTU, because you can do 25 contracts and it's not it doesn't hurt too much.
Yeah.
Unless you get assigned.
Let's breeze through the rest of these real quick. I got about 10% charge on my computer here. So let's just breeze through. So we've got, let's see, YMAX. You've got FBY, NVDY.
You're showing my other spreadsheet.
I'm showing the calendar. I'm just looking at the calendar here because the audience likes this with the daily, each day of the week get paid. So you've got YMAX. Isn't that one weekly?
Yeah, it's weekly. Everything is weekly now, but
yeah.
I sold that at YMAX for the whatever the Brown Hill version is.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah, because around
W Pay.
Yeah, I sold out of EOMax for W Pay.
Okay, interesting. And then I see FBY and then NVDY. And then there's Misty here.
Misty should be there. AMD.
Yeah. Misty, I think
is there.
Misty should be a weekly payer if it's not already. It should be becoming one.
Misty is this Friday is the first.
That's
payment.
right. Yeah. So that should help it out. The same thing that happened to Ulti. And then so we got NVDY, NFLY, MSTY, FBY. And these are all really solid yields. So that's awesome. And yeah, I see you have WPay here.
I do like. I mean, when I started selling some of them, I was like, okay, let's make sure we're not gonna take a hit on how many dividends we're gonna get. So after doing the math, and it comes out about equal. I sold all my YMAX, and my WPay pays basically what YieldMax does, but hopefully it's a little bit more stable, which I think it will be.
Yeah, for sure.
So H-Town, what is your favorite dividend paying ETF?
Man, that's a tough question.
Like going forward, not from the past, but going forward.
If you want stability, I would say Blocks.
Blocks
has Ethereum in it, right? Isn't it like crypto? Like
it's basically cryptos and miners and Ethereum and Bitcoin. But
I can't mess with that.
I mean, you can. You just
ease
it.
No, I can't mess with Ethereum.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to because of my computer. It's about to die. But if you want to keep talking on Discord, feel free.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for putting it on.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Join Discord. Talk in there. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye. Yeah, keep talking for sure. I just don't want the computer to die.
Yep, you're good.
Yep.